Hi there, I'm Paulina and I'm a Scroll and Digitisation Conservator at the British Library in London. Today I'm going to talk you through the various materials you will need to begin conserving your collection items safely. Proper preservation will help you to achieve the best possible results when you come to digitise your collections for future generations to enjoy and learn from. There are a range of different tools available to achieve your conservation aims. I'll explain what we use at the British Library, but feel free to create alternatives with what you have available. Just make sure that the materials you use don't pose a risk to the collection items when in direct contact with them. Pointers are used to keep a book page in place during image capture. We use pointers made from clear perspex to avoid obscuring the page in the image. It is important that the pointer you use is long and has a flat, blunt end to avoid denting or tearing the surface. Simple spatulas made from bamboo or the end of a painting brush handle are cheap and effective alternatives. Brushes and sponges to remove dust and dirt from a surface. Brushes should have soft bristles made from natural hair from sheep or goats. Avoid hard and springy brushes as they can damage delicate surfaces. Makeup or smoke sponges work well and should be tested in advance to check that they do not leave any residue on the surface. Spatulas to separate pages that are stuck together. These can be made of metal or bamboo and should be thin, flexible and with smooth rounded edges that will not cut the paper. Bone folders to unfold creases and folds. Both natural folders made from bone and polished wood and synthetic Teflon folders can be used. They should have a smooth, flat surface. Paper and interleaving materials. It is wise to have a range of papers with different thicknesses available during your project, for purposes such as interleaving, support and space protection. An interleaving material is a sheet of paper, fabric or plastic placed between your collection item and your pressing board to prevent sticking. The papers that are particularly useful include newspapers, as they are cheap and can be discarded. This is useful when working with objects affected by red rot.
Red rot is the result of the disintegration of leather over time.
Thin paper to act as table protection. Conservation-grade blotters for interleaving. Thick cardboard or paper to support flat items or book pages during image capture. These can be used for making boxes for storage. Please watch our tutorial on how to make archival boxes on the EIP website. We also use plastic sheets and tablecloths to protect work tables as they are easy to clean. If you are working on a smooth table that is easy to wipe, you don't need to use these. Pressing boards. These can be used to flatten an object by applying even pressure on its surface. The size of the board should be similar to the size of the item that needs flattening. Depending on the size, wooden, glass or synthetic boards can be used. The surface of the pressing board must be smooth to prevent damaging the object. It is important to use interleaving materials to prevent the item from sticking to the board. Trolleys and trays are used for safe transportation of materials from storage areas to the project workspace. Trays should be easy and comfortable to carry when loaded with collection items. If working with heavy or bulky items, or when transporting items over a longer distance, use a trolley for convenience and safety. Weights are used to apply more pressure when flattening objects under pressing boards. It is useful to have a range of weights. You can use bodybuilding weights if available, or you could create your own by filling bottles and containers with sand as long as these are sealed securely. Smaller weights can be used to hold open pages or smaller collection items. These can be made by filling small plastic or textile pouches with grains or sand. Make sure to use a protective layer between the weight and the collection item, such as paper blotter or a piece of polyester sheet. Supports are used to prop and secure collection material during image capture. Depending on the type of material digitized, different types of supports might be needed. Consider the size and shape of the items you plan to digitize in advance and choose an appropriate support. Thick papers and cardboard can be used to support flat items. Cradles are rigid supports used for bound volumes and help to protect the spine whilst the book is open. Foam can be cut into pieces and used to stabilize books and compensate for the height of the spine. Cushions are a good alternative to foam and can be used in the same way, especially for bound volumes that cannot be opened flat. If needed, you can create your own cushions with sand, grains, or styrofoam balls. Just make sure that the cushion is tightly sealed so the contents do not come in contact with the collection item. Another option is to use a rolled textile like a blanket. Finally, personal protective equipment is crucial to ensure the well-being of the people involved in the digitization project. It is particularly important when working with moldy items or items affected by red rot. Disposable gloves and face masks will help prevent allergic reactions or respiratory problems. Nitrile gloves are best as they are disposable and don't cause allergies. We don't recommend using cotton gloves as they pick up dirt and let through spores from mold. Aprons will prevent staining of the skin and clothes and will help to minimize the transfer of hazardous substances from one item to another. If your collection item does not have mold on it, we recommend handling with clean, dry, bare hands for dexterity. This tutorial is part of our online video series covering digitization, digital preservation, and conservation for the Endangered Archives programme. Feel free to explore these resources at eap.bl.uk/training videos.